Three, two, one, Larry.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Big Idea podcast. I have a lot of people that have told me over the years, man, you really look like you're having fun. And I do. And the reason is not only do people pay me to be mentally unstable, but I get to meet some really cool people. And I think I can say without hyperbole, our guest today might be the most and best liked person in the business. I don't know anybody that doesn't like the guy or appreciate him. He's an amazing advertising guy. Not good, amazing. And on top of that, he's a volunteer firefighter. Everybody should know him by now. If you don't, we have the pleasure of having Joe Jackson on with us. Joe, I gave you a little bit of an intro, but tell us a little bit about what you do, how you do it, how long you've been doing it, and thank you so much for your service with the fire thing. Gary Silman actually wanted to set something on fire just to make you feel more at home, but we vetoed it.
I appreciate it. Thank you for the warm introduction. I appreciate it. It means a lot to me. And there's a lot. I'm surrounded by so many great people. So they make it easy for me to be nice because everybody's so nice to me. So I really appreciate that. But it's I'm coming to you. I don't know if this is the first one. I figured, what are you, 52 podcasts now? Like maybe I'd be the first 50, one from with a fire truck in the background. Yeah.
But you're clearly the first. You're the first at the fire truck. But that wins. That trumps everything. And to say that the other night when it was cold and dreary and we were on the Lethal Sales, Joe was out shoveling, opening up fire hydrants in the town. What a guy. I mean, that's guys like that. You don't find many of them like that anymore.
Yeah, fire hydrants by day, pickleball by night. So, that was a great time.
Kind of like the suburban Batman. He doesn't fight for a little pickleball, a little good service in the morning. Joe, tell us, I mentioned what a great advertising guy you are, and I sincerely mean it. And just before you answer, I prefaced it with a guy that's paid for a lot of advertising. Not only does he get results, he's just one of these people that's really easy to do business with because he cares about the people he does business with. So tell them a little bit, if they've never heard of you, which would be sad, what you do, how you do it, because we want to try to we're doing people a favor if we get you to help them.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, Joe Jackson. I work for a company called JMG Marketing, and it's a great company. We specialize in automotive sales and service direct mail. So that's our specialty. That's been the specialty for 25 years. I've been here personally for 5 years, and it's been a great ride. So it's a great team. I can't do what I do without the most incredible team, and behind the scenes helping me to get everything done that I need to. But I've always loved direct mail. It's always been near and dear to my heart. My aunt and uncle, who I always wanted to emulate them, they met at an advertising agency called Benton and Bowles. So they were both copywriters. So I've always wanted to emulate them. And it just sort of set me on my path in advertising and as a copywriter. I spent 5 years as an advertising copywriter with a company called Doubleday Direct. It was book clubs. Remember those great cards you'd get in the mail?
Joe, you're showing your age. Earlier you disclosed you have an AOL account, and you just talked about two people meeting in person on a date. Man, whatever happened to that?
It's unbelievable. Yes, I go way back. So it's but yeah. So that's how I got my start in advertising, and it was great. But 6 books for 99 cents. I wrote. The Mystery Guild was my club, so I wrote for all the mysteries. I wrote those little blurbs that made you want to read the book. I never read a mystery, but I was right. I was like, if this blurb is anything, or the book is anything like this blurb, it's going to be a bestseller. So,
Joe, let me ask you a question. I know the results you've gotten and continue to get. There are certain people out there, and I love paper. My wife's always hollering because I'm writing everything down, and she likes to type everything. But in an age of AI and an age of so much digital stuff, why do you see, because I know my opinion, but yours is more important, why do you see direct mail as still not only a contributor, but a vital contributor?
Yeah, great question. I mean, there's a whole bunch of different reasons, but I really think one, it comes down to it's tangible, and you can hold it in your hand, and it's got a longer shelf life. It sits on the refrigerator, on the kitchen table. These are, but I think the tangibility is great. There are also studies too that say that you retain, and you can when you're reading things physically as opposed to on the screen. I mean, it's like I mean, pardon the expression, but it's a crude analogy, but drinking from a fire hose. I don't even know what the number is, 10,000, 50, how many thousands of ads that come rushing at us every day, hundreds by the minute. They're everywhere.
We become immune.
Listen, you become blind to it.
Joe, the good news is, by describing how important something tangible is, I believe you've picked up the gold market, but I think you've lost the crypto account.
Yeah, it's floating. My whole retirement's floating in space, cyberspace somewhere. So but I think that those are the biggest things. And the thing that I love to say about direct mail is, and I think why it's so effective too, is we're friends. We're friends. And if I said, hey, Larry, my house is your house. It's always open. Come by anytime. Come by anytime. You're not coming. If I send you an invitation in the mail for an event on a certain night, chances are you're coming. They've drastically improved. I think I'm going to see Larry that night. But no matter what, if it's just always an open invitation, people don't show. So I think that to me, that speaks volumes, and I think that's one of the easiest ways I could break down to say that it's so effective. Let's invite our customers back. Let's people who've lapsed. Let's invite people who don't know us, who aren't familiar with us. Let's put something in their hand that people believe it. More too when they see it in print. When they have an offer, they're holding it. It was mailed to them. There's a bunch of different reasons, but I think that's the best thing I could say about it.
And every fashion and every trend seems to go away, and then it seems to come back. So it's things that we write off or we think are in the past are just a prelude to the future anyway. Joe, everybody that knows you not only as a heck of a good guy and a great advertising guy, but as a volunteer fireman. What prompted you to get into it? Obviously, everybody appreciates your service. Tell us a little bit about that and why you enjoy it and how you got into it.
It's funny, when I moved to the town that I'm in. I live in Shrewsbury, New Jersey. I moved on to a great little blue collar block, and there were two ex-chiefs who lived on my block, and one of them still there. The other one retired down to Florida, and another volunteer firefighter. And they were always just like, oh, you got to come down. You got to, you got to join. You got to join. So it was almost 10 years. I was like, yeah, eventually. And then 10 years ago, I was just, my friend was doing the academy, and I was like, all right, it's time. I should do it. But what I didn't know was that it was like 17 weeks. It was like serious. It's like legit. It's not like the Chiefs who I was telling you about. It was a weekend. It was like, all right, go ahead, go fight fires. They asked him a couple of questions, and they just sat him in a room. Now it's 17 weeks of just weekends, Wednesday. It was just amazing. A full day Saturday for 17 straight weeks. So it's like you're becoming a paid volunteer. People like to call them volleys, and they like to say things like we're not real firefighters, but everybody, all volunteers, they're real firefighters. They went through the training just like somebody who's in a paid city would go through. So, but
what was your toughest drill? What was your toughest drill? Because I took it in Virginia, and I know a little something about firefighting. But you, what was the toughest one for you?
They were all tough in different ways. Confined spaces are tough and things like that. But I gotta say, like, probably the most grueling was like just roof work and stuff like that, because I told you the other night on Lethal, I hate heights. So there were so many times that I had to, go up on the roof, throw the roof ladder, go up in the bucket really high. And I was, but once you start doing it, you forget about it, fortunately. But yeah, anything involving heights was always the toughest thing.
Yeah, keep him off the ladder
what we're
truck.
basically learning here is Joe is a true hero, but if you are on a fire, run to the first floor or else you're in deep trouble.
Yeah, I'll come get you out of the first floor. No problem.
Hey, I want to bring it back to some questions that I have for Joe.
Sure thing.
Joe, you've been selling paper advertisements to dealerships for how many years now?
Wow. So I've been here for 5 years with direct mail, but I worked for the New York Daily News for 12 years.
Yep.
And before that, I worked for the New York Post for 2 years.
So you've been in this arena for a while of classifieds for service and for inventory. Mm-hmm. So today, the last 3 or 4 years, COVID, what's your opinion? I'm learning AI. I'm learning how AI meets marketing and how, in the auto industry, we have all of our experts and we have everybody, talking of what they're talking about. But when it breaks down to it, is that everybody's on the same page is you have to have a process. And you have to have some sequences that everybody in senior management needs to agree to, and everybody needs to execute it on the floor, and it turns into training. Mm-hmm. Where do you see? I mean, because for me today, I jumped on that all things used car for the first time. So I got on there, so I'm watching. So you're with the people that are actually talking about best practices in the market. So you from my standpoint, I'm looking at you, you're hanging around with the experts. Mm-hmm. So from you, where do you see where we are right now, and what is some of the solutions that dealers should look for? Is it a split? Should they try to do a little bit of print and do a little bit of ads? I mean, I know they used to have mixes and you would do a little bit of here and a little bit of there, but what's your opinion today?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, I guess, and it comes down to everybody. I always have a very hard time, and I struggle with giving like a blanket answer because everybody is different no matter what. Everybody's got all these different variables and circumstances, where they're located, who their competitors are, what brand they're selling. So it's different for everybody, and what will work in one place may not necessarily work in another place. So yeah, I have a hard time answering that sort of thing, because I just seen a mailer, gangbusters, for one guy, and then mediocre for another guy. And that's when you look at it and you start to see like who has the processes, like you said, and like who's on the ball, who's getting it done, and who's not, having any spillage, and who's taking advantage of their leads. But again, in the inventory, there are so many different things that will affect whether or not, which direction they're going. What I feel about with AI, and like helps me sleep at night too, where sometimes, because the elephant in the room is, and I would get this with the Daily News when I'd be like, oh man, the newspaper, this was 10, 12 years ago. I was just like, oh, it's dying. It's like, listen, everybody's having their challenges, no matter what they're in. Everything is getting so segmented and so broken down that it's you can't. The Daily News used to be a great place to run an ad, excuse me, and you're hitting. You're hitting.
You're circulating. You're hitting a lot of people.
Oh, you're hitting so many people at once. Now you have to. It's like total Raisin Bran. You got to eat 12 bowls of Raisin Bran to eat one. Like you got to run 12 ads to run what one ad used to do for you back in the day. So. But what helps me too is it's simple. Like what I do is process oriented. there's a process, there's a system to it. And we make it very simple. Those people I was telling you about on my team that are in the back, where with dealers, I hear AI, and I don't even know what AI means. Could be so many different. It's like somebody saying I do digital. It's like, well, what do you do with it? There's a million different things for digital. So I would just say with AI, it could be complicated. Here, we try to make it as easy as possible. It's as fast as possible. I could turn things around. Lickety-split. You call me up. You want to do a mailer. It's Monday. I can get your data by Tuesday. I could run counts. I can have it out the door by Friday. And into the mail. So you could turn things around real quick. But I think it's the simplicity of it, because guys, they're so overwhelmed. Like David Long, I get this expression from him where he would just say ADD. The guy's got ADD, and it stands for another damn dashboard. It's like these guys are overwhelmed with data, with information, with long emails from if they have a bunch of different dealerships, from every single one. They're
as well as, and the customers are also overwhelmed.
Yes, and it's true, and the customers are overwhelmed. But I think all of that stuff, these guys are drinking from the fire hose. It's coming at them from all angles. So I like that I can do something, that is proven, it's effective. I provide at the end of every campaign, I do a sales match or a service match, depending, or both, if it's a sales and service campaign, that you could judge the ROI. I know everything, there's always going to be like shared attribution, and there'll be, but at least these are the people I mailed, this is the time frame, this is who bought. And what also helps me is and we don't even talk about it, but a lot of times that cycle of people buying, and that's just in the month. That 60 days, 90 days, if I ran that match and I said, okay, I want to know, but extend it into the next month, there's still another 10, 15, 20 people who come in who didn't get it done the month prior, but they got that mailer, they bought later, the process started earlier. So there's even more than I'm reporting that's happening.
You're absolutely right. There's so many variables. So I talk about, like, when I go into a store, is I want to blueprint it. I want to see what they're doing. So it sounds like what you do is that you listen, you know the demographics, you listen, and you're customizing it. And traditional selling still works. They still want to get a piece of paper and invite in. So, I mean, you're still seeing great results. How are you seeing subprime? Do you get involved in the marketing with the dealers to market for subprime, like during now, like tax season? Do you get involved there?
Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, we excuse me, we do some stuff. Sorry, I got a frog in my throat. We'll do special finance, and with special finance, what we usually do, that's kind of a credit bureau information that we get based on either credit score, or if they're in a loan, like they may be in a high interest rate loan. I always find the loan mods, it's a tough thing to say. And what I always say to a guy, if this is our first mailer and we're sitting down, we're talking, and you go straight to special finance. It's like, listen, special finance, it's a mixed bag. Like, it could be off the charts one month, and it could be, terrible the next month. It's a mixed bag. But I think if you take a little piece and put it towards that consistently, you'll see consistent, more stable results. But if you throw out 10,000 pieces and then it's like you're just throwing it up in the wind, I'd rather stay more focused. Stay with the registrations.
A consistent, because you throw out a ton, now you got people getting upset because they can't get the help inside the store. It just creates too much of a circle.
Oh, yeah. It creates too much. But and that's the thing with the credit, it's the inconsistent results. Like I have guys who we start out on a program just for registrations, just for, hey, I got guys who say, I hit my database all the time. I don't want to touch my database. Let's just do all conquest. And that's always a tough thing too, because when it's all conquest, you want to balance it. half and half or a certain percentage with your lapsed customers or just for retention, it makes it more consistent. So it's tough, but I had guys doing it for years, and we've added, usually if they're in a leasing market, we layer in a third of registrations, a third of people who are coming off lease, because we know those people are going to be in the market. If you're in an off lease market and you're not doing, and you're looking for mailers, I don't know why you wouldn't do, because you know those people have to make a buying decision in the next 6 months, 8 months, whatever it is. You have flexibility with that scale. Get in front of them until they buy or they disappear. But that's the audience you want to get in front of, because they have to do something. And then I'll go to like loan mods or special finance, and I have those three components working together. And it's been you've been able
to create success for your stores.
Yeah. Hey, Joe, with it, it's almost like you'd be better off being a cop than a firefighter, because when they talk about how protective they are of their base, you almost want to put a light in their face and say, okay, what have you been doing with your base?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Are you marketing them? Are your people reaching out to them? I always say it's sad that our CSI is based around the dealer getting his money and the salesman getting their money and everybody getting their override, rather than, this is my customer. I definitely want to stay in touch with them, so they'll refer more people to me.
Right. The guys will say, "Oh yeah, I'm hitting that. We're calling them. I mean, I don't know how many people. I can't imagine that they're all picking up the phone. I mean, with the amount of spam calls, robocalls, all these things that you get, it's such a big number. But also, when I look at the data, a lot of guys, and I'm surprised by it, don't have as many email addresses in their DMS. Like, some guys are 50. I've seen 50%, less than 50%. It's like, what? How is this even possible? And some guys aren't collecting emails.
Dirty data, as we were talking about the other day. When some of the OEMs got to the point is that they weren't going to let the dealer RDR the car unless they had a VIN number. I mean, an email. And that was the only way management was able to get the people to do it, or they would have to threaten them that if you don't do it, we're going to hold your pay. And that is so prevalent. You would think that with everybody talking, dealers would be running out, putting in systems to make sure that their future data is being stored properly. Because, going in and doing a data mine in 50% is garbage.
And you'll find no email at noemail.com,
they're just filling in the just enough to click the button to be moved on. And
you're battling the nature of salespeople.
Yeah,
I've done it, and every other dealer on earth has done it. Hey, let's put a sheet in front of them so you can click off which source. Those things are never accurate because the people don't push. I made my deal. Let me get this guy the hell out of here. I'll fill it out.
No, and that's what it is. And then and then the data sits.
Hey, Joe.
Go ahead.
I'm such a big fan of yours, and anybody that did any business with you would also be a big fan. We have a Joe at JMG Marketing. Folks, I got to do a disclaimer. I happen to be personal friends with Joe. So I know for a fact that when I call him, he answers, and he knows if he calls me, I answer. So if you really need a jolt, you want to see direct mail that actually works, directed by a guy that actually cares and does his due diligence, it's very easy to reach, and trust me, you'll be really happy. The people I've referred him to have always thanked me. Joe, do you have any thoughts, any last comments here? We like to keep it short so more and more people can see what you do and how you do it.
No, this is great. I really appreciate it. I know I'm usually the fly on the wall, so I'm kind of being like behind the scenes, but I appreciate you guys breaking me out of my shell, and thank you. I feel so comfortable around you guys. And,
no problem at all. And just so you know, Mike Larkin has locked his mother-in-law on the 4th floor. So God forbid, you can't say it wasn't your fault. You're not going up for the heights. Good idea, Larkin. It was kind of like two strangers on a train. I get it now.
I just don't want to see part 2 of Joe and him wearing his hat. His hat.
Yeah. I'll go get it. Yeah.
Oh, no. Okay.
This is good.
Here it is.
This is a world exclusive.
There we go.
Nice.
Oh, we love it. We love it.
Hey, Did you go to the hockey game when in New Jersey they had a big hockey game the other day when the kid Hughes came back?
Oh no, I missed it. Yeah, Jack Hughes, American hero.
You had a kid from the Buffalo team was on the USA, and he talked, and they were out on the ice, and that little stadium was bouncing. It was.
And then they gave Jack Hughes a cheap shot in the back. If you're oh yeah, hey, fame is fleeting, but remember, being nothing is forever.
Never mind the back and the teeth.
Yeah. Well, no, that was during the Olympics. I'm talking about this game back. Listen, Joe, we appreciate you. We'll point everybody in your direction. And it was just great. Get back on in a few months to follow up. But anybody listening to this, you want to give your business a jolt, Joe Jackson, you will not be sorry. Joe, on behalf of Mr. Silman, Mr. Larkin, we can't thank you enough for giving us some of your time. And keep up the great work. The community respects you and appreciates you.
My pleasure. Thank you. Thank you all. I appreciate it. Talk to you guys soon.
Hey, love you, brother.
It's 44 degrees and sunny in Connecticut. So the winter is going to end. They put Punxsutawney Phil in jail for never letting him out again. And everybody have a great weekend. Good seeing everybody. And March is coming in like a lion. Let's do some business.
I'm ready for it. All right.
Yep.
Thanks,
all
guys.
right, everybody.
All right, enjoy.
Take it easy.
Bye-bye.